We need to talk about how this conversation between Donald Trump and these black journalists exposed some hypocrisy that is yet to really be acknowledged. So during a Q&A between Trump and some black journalists who were speaking at a black conference, things got a little bit heated. They opened up by calling Trump out on some of the racially charged statements he made, or at the bare minimum, some dog whistles that he's made about either black journalists or black politicians in the past. And here's the thing, as a journalist, I actually support challenging all candidates on all issues, because our job is not to represent candidates, but rather to hold them accountable as members of the Fourth Estate. Now, with that in mind, I was waiting all day to see how the interaction between those black journalists and Kamala went. As most of you have probably surmised by now, the conversation never happened. Why? Because Kamala didn't show up to the conversation with black journalists about black issues. Even Trump brought up her absence and called out the fact that she should have been there. But then I thought that she had a legitimate excuse after I found out that she was actually attending the funeral of Representative Sheila Jackson Lee. But then I went to the website and found out that this convention lasts from July 31st to August 4th, which means Kamala had multiple days to speak to these black journalists about black issues. Now I know I am not the only black journalist who has realized this, considering it's a black journalist convention. But I do know also, for some reason, I'm the only black journalist that's a little bit confused as to why everybody is focusing on some of the responses from Donald Trump regarding Kamala's identity, instead of focusing on the fact that the candidate who is running on being black has no time for black people or black journalists. Because I mean, it's cool to call out some toxic rhetoric, some words from Trump, but y'all not upset that the candidate who is literally running on being black didn't have any time and didn't have nothing for us but excuses when it was time to sit in front of journalists and be held accountable for her actions that have negatively impacted the black community? Then I realized something. This has actually been the case within liberal media since Kamala Harris has announced. Like I said, they want to call Trump out for words that he said that can be perceived as racist, but they don't want to ask Kamala how she feels about the fact that her current boss said that black people aren't black if they don't vote for him, despite his history of racist policies. They acknowledge that Trump did things like help restore funding to HBCUs, pass the First Step Act, and things like that obviously help black people. And they've even challenged him, asking him, what more is he going to do for us? But nobody in liberal media, nobody in black media is curious to ask Kamala about this infamous interview where she was very clear she's not going to do anything to specifically help black people. And if you think she was lying, just go to her campaign site. Not only does she not have any platform specific for black people, she doesn't have a platform at all. It's important for every demographic-based coalition to challenge candidates on what they're going to do for those communities. But don't y'all think that if a candidate is running on being black, asking for black money, asking black celebrities to coalesce behind her, having media members fight to protect her identity as a black woman, like, don't you think it's fair that if we're going to ask Trump what he's going to do for the black community, that same black woman should be asked what she's going to do and be held to at least the same standard, if not a higher standard, because she's literally trying to win the office of the presidency off the black experience? And don't you think that black and liberal media should be a little bit upset, considering we keep getting excuses for why she cannot engage us when it comes to policy? Why is her blackness and her black experience, yes, the quotes are purposeful, why is that not leading to any tangible policy discussion about black issues? And why is y'all's media okay with that? Oh yeah, I forgot. But Trump. Yeah, Trump ain't running on being black. He ain't running on my experiences. She is. So I expect her to follow suit, and I expect y'all to challenge her when she doesn't.